Just Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host, Fondue. In this week's episode, we're going to talk National Cheeseburger Day.
Cheeseburger.
We'll discover its history. We'll talk about the largest cheeseburger and the most expensive one.
Whoa.
We're going to hear about the future of the cheese analog market.
Analog.
We're going to talk about the French and how they're cutting the cheese in schools.
Cutting the cheese.
And of course, we're going to tell a very cheesy joke.
Here we are.
Stay tuned for Season 2, Episode 18 of Just Cheesy, the podcast. Well, Cheesy, it looks like this week is a serious cheese holiday week.
Really?
We have on the 18th, National Cheeseburger Day.
Ooh.
We have Tuesday that has National Queso Day and National String Cheese Day.
Wow.
In order to give each one some attention, we're going to have to break it up over several episodes.
Okay.
Today, we're going to cover National Cheeseburger Day because today is National Cheeseburger Day.
Yay.
There may be some controversy regarding where the cheeseburger was invented.
Ooh.
The first claims that in the 20s, 16-year-old Lionel Sternberger,
Burger.
yeah, his name was Sternberger. Lionel was his father's fry cook at the shop called The Right Spot.
The right spot.
He either accidentally dropped a slab of American cheese on a sizzling hamburger,
Okay.
or, according to nationaltoday.com, a homeless person saw Lionel working the burgers and suggested the cheese.
Okay.
Kalen's restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky says it invented the cheeseburger in 1934.
Interesting.
A year later, a trademark for cheeseburger was awarded to Louis Ballast of Humpty Dumpty Drive-In in Denver.
Humpty Dumpty.
And according to Steak and Shake, founder Gus Belt applied for a trademark on the word in the 1930s.
Wow.
And according to Wikipedia, there's another variation called the steamed cheeseburger, and it was served in Connecticut.
Really?
Believed to have been invented at a restaurant called Jack's Lunch in Middletown, Connecticut in the 30s.
Wow.
It says here most cheeseburgers follow a similar pattern where you've got a bun, a hamburger patty, and a piece of cheese.
Makes sense.
You could certainly have more slices or more patties where you would be looking at a double or triple cheeseburger.
Ooh.
And there's sometimes cheeseburgers prepared with cheese inside the ground beef rather than on top, and it's known as a Juicy Lucy.
Juicy Lucy.
In 1963, we see the first invention of the bacon cheeseburger
Oh.
at A&W restaurants in Lansing, Michigan.
Yum.
Cheeseburgers are not considered kosher.
What?
Judaism prohibits the combination of beef and cheese.
Oh, no.
This sparked controversy in Jerusalem when McDonald's began opening franchises where they sold cheeseburgers. So McDonald's has opened both kosher and non-kosher restaurants in Israel.
Nice.
McDonald's even attempted to provide a kosher cheeseburger in a restaurant in New York City
Oh.
with a cheeseburger variation that replaces cheese with soy cheese.
Nice.
And of course, we have to talk about the world's largest burger.
Yeah, we do.
According to foodandwine.com, the largest burger title belongs to Mally's Sports Grill and Bar in Detroit. In the 2017 article by Elizabeth Sherman, she mentions the owner, Stephen Malley, started out small, selling a 10-pound burger.
Wow.
In 2008, he created a 138-pound burger
Whoa.
to compete for the largest commercially sold burger, but he lost to a Japanese restaurant.
Aw.
So he tried again in 2017.
Of course.
He cooked 2,000 pounds of raw meat on a custom grill.
Holy cow.
The burgers topped with 300 pounds of cheese,
Whoa.
tomatoes, onions, pickles, and lettuce.
Holy cow.
They say here that the bun alone, donated by the Michigan Bread Company, weighed 250 pounds.
What?
Oh, and it measured 3 feet tall and 5 feet wide.
Oh, my goodness.
And of course, it's entirely edible.
Wow.
And the thing I find interesting is it's actually still on the menu.
What?
It says here if you want to order one, it'll cost you $7,799 and they need 3 days advance notice.
That's it?
And to verify for myself, I went to malleysgrill.com. There is indeed an 1,800-pound burger.
Whoa.
It looks like inflation has raised the price on this burger to $10,000.
Holy cow.
And they also have something on their menu that's called the Colossal Sundae.
Ooh.
It's $50. It's an entire gallon and a half of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice
Whoa.
cream, topped with whipped cream, sprinkles, cherries, your choice of Oreo or chocolate chip cookies.
Yum.
Seems like that might be a good accompaniment to the 1,800-pound burger.
Wow.
So I set out to find the most expensive cheeseburger that wasn't 1,800 pounds.
Right.
On a website called odditycentral.com, the world's most expensive burger costs $6,000.
Holy cow.
In an article by Spooky in 2021, they talk about the Golden Boy Burger.
The golden boy.
It was created by a Dutch restaurant owner. I know, I'm going to try to say it.
No.
Robert Jandeveen,
Oh boy.
the owner of the restaurant De Daltons. He stumbled over a record for the most expensive burger in Oregon at $5,000, but thought he could make an even more expensive one.
Ooh.
And he wanted it to be something that could be made by just one person.
Wow.
The expensive ingredient burger recipe goes as follows. Dom Perignon champagne-infused bun wrapped in gold leaf,
Ooh.
Japanese Wagyu beef,
Oh my.
beluga caviar,
Okay.
Joselita Balata
Oh my.
100% Iberico vintage
Oh,
jamon,
stop it.
cheddar with truffle from Wyke Farms, all smothered in a barbecue sauce
Okay.
made from Kopi Luwak coffee, Macallan single malt whiskey rare cask,
Yum.
and smoked saffron chive mayonnaise made from duck eggs.
Oh my.
And then, of course, it's bathed in whiskey smoke for added flavor.
Wow.
The proceeds of the burger went to charity.
That's good.
This burger is still available. However, if you want to actually buy it, you need to order it 2 weeks in advance and make a $750 deposit.
Holy cow.
To Dalton's Restaurant, not a sponsor.
Nope.
But if they were, their ad would go right here. So let's talk analog cheese.
As opposed to digital cheese?
No, cheesy. Analog has another meaning,
It does?
such as a person or thing seen as comparable to another.
Okay.
So when we talk about analog cheese, let's think dairy alternatives or plant-based dairy.
Okay.
So according to GlobeNewsWire.com, the global cheese analog market is anticipated to grow from $2.1 billion in 2022 to $3.9 billion by 2032.
Whoa.
Some of the factors include the rise of veganism,
Okay.
the increase in the number of people with lactose intolerance,
Oh, sure.
concern for animal welfare,
Huh.
and they even include the trend of veganism represented by athletes and Hollywood stars.
Wow.
They base their study on different types of cheese forms, such as liquid, slices, cubes,
Okay.
blocks, shredded, powder, and spreadable cheeses.
Wow.
More and more companies are attempting to get the right texture and properties, so I would imagine we should see better and better analog cheeses in the future.
Yay.
It's time for my favorite segment.
This week in cheese.
According to the local.fr, French schools are going to cut the cheese course as inflation continues.
Cut the cheese.
Now, I grew up eating the rectangular shaped pizza and it was delicious, but in French schools, it looks like something you might get at a restaurant.
Yeah, it does.
Their school nutritional guidelines limit the frequency of high fat and high sugar meals.
Really?
They stipulate that 50% sustainable quality food products are used and 20% of which must be organically produced.
Wow.
And they must have at least one meat-free day per week. They're saying they may have to drop a course of their 4-course or 5-course lunch meal.
Aw.
According to mindbodygreen.com, in an article called What French Kids Eat for School Lunch, they have some examples of some school lunches.
Okay.
They are prepared in the kitchen. They're not ready-made frozen.
Wow.
They have dishes like Monday, first course, cucumber and tomato salad.
Yum.
Main course, veal marinated with mushrooms and broccoli,
Wow.
cheese, and for dessert, an apple tart.
Ooh.
Tuesday, first course, cabbage and tomato salad.
Okay.
Roast beef, potatoes, baked tomatoes with herbs is the main course,
Ooh.
cheese, and for dessert they have a kiwi.
Wow.
And the list goes on from there. And because of inflation, they may lose the dessert or cheese course.
Aw.
I'm sorry, France. That is a real bummer.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
What did the cheeseburger parents name their daughter?
I don't know. What did they name her?
Patty. Get it? Patty.
That was so silly.
It wasn't silly. It was a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast. Season 2, Episode 18.
Yeah.
We appreciate the listeners from all over the world.
Yeah, we do.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Stay cheesy, everybody.